We were on that boat for hours. Then you get to the island and it's the ultimate embodiment of, on the other side of discomfort is truly where some of the world's biggest magic hides, right?
I'm calling it sacred discomfort, facing the shadows that I need to put light on to be able to be set free.
It's not that the fear isn't there, it's just that we've learned how to coexist with it.
Hello, beautiful people. We are sending live with another podcast episode. Hello, Thomas.
Hello, Staffan.
Hey, man.
Good doing this podcast with you.
Yeah, we're shaking hands now.
It's great doing this partnership. It's lovely time we're having. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
We've been doing a couple now.
Yeah, this is episode 8.
Episode number 8.
Oh, that's cool.
And you know what 8 means? It's the eternal number. So,
and most podcasts never make it past episode 10. So as long as we do 2 more, we've done better than the average person trying to do a podcast.
Yeah.
So
can we have some clap effects now on the podcast?
Clap.
We had that in the beginning. So
someone will edit this and add a clap.
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we managed 8, and next week it's going to become 9 because we are going for it. And
the week after that, it's going to be 10. So it's wonderful. We're learning so many things.
Clap again. Yeah, good to have you here, regardless if it's your first time tuning into a podcast episode or if you're here for the 8th time. We are stoked to continue this journey.
Yeah.
We are gonna do an inner exploration today when it comes to the topic seeking discomfort. We just done, as we said in the last episode, one of our most epic and memorable journeys we ever ventured into, both internally and externally. We went to the Northern Mariana Islands and to a place that is very hard to reach. Almost impossible, as some people said locally there, but we did charter a fishing boat and went very far. So we're gonna talk about that, but also talk about the topic of discomfort and how it began for us and how we found each other and why are we continuing doing this.
This trip is interesting because we didn't capture this, but so many locals, when we were telling them we were going to Pagan, this super isolated island on the northern side, where one man essentially lives full-time by himself on an active volcano, people were shocked. The average person there has never been in it. They would dream of going, but there's no way of we had to set up a whole operation to get there.
Yeah.
So I feel quite lucky that we not only got to go, but also got to meet Jordan and tell that amazing story. And in many ways, he embodies seeking discomfort in so many ways. Yeah. It was discomfort for us to go there, but I think also seeing how he lives and how connected he is to, his ancestors' story and to nature definitely inspired me, and I hope will inspire those who watch the episode.
He was a true seeker. If we've been seeking discomfort, he been seeking it in trees since he was 3 years old. He can climb trees 10 meters up fearlessly.
No problem at all.
Just heading up there, cutting down some coconuts, and then he's going for it. He's been raising animals since he was 3, 4. He's been hunting in the jungle since he was 8 years old.
It's it was definitely a life-changing trip. And for those of you, again, who are tuning in for the first time in this podcast, we see it as an opportunity to go deeper, to explore further, not just, behind the scenes of episodes. It's mainly, I think, life. I think we're exploring life and we're exploring our own growth. And I know that many people that watch Yes Theory, they want to chase more experience, but they also want to chase the inner experience of growth, of asking themselves questions. I think we are all introspective humans, or many people are. And I think especially those of you who are going to be interested in this podcast may be more introspective in general. And I think life is confusing and we don't have the answers, but we're exploring them and we're getting to meet interesting people that have unique perspectives. And I think this podcast can be a place where we can discuss that together, create a space where we look into, how do you make sense of life? It's a difficult thing. And I think discomfort specifically is one of those things that is so counterintuitive, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel good to seek discomfort. It looks cool on a t-shirt, but to actually do it, it sucks. When you're in the discomfort, you're I want to get out of here. When we were on that boat for hours, we were why? What are we doing? We should be home right now. We should not be on this boat. And then you get to the island and it's the ultimate embodiment of, on the other side of discomfort is truly where some of the world's biggest magic hides, right? And I think it's true on a small sense of, getting out. For some people, it'll be getting out their house that day. And for other people, it'd be traveling to a foreign place. For other people, it'll be applying for that job, whatever it is, right? But on the other side of that feeling of, I don't want to do this, or can I do this, or is this a good idea? All the doubt.
Yeah,
that's where the magic hides, right? And that's, I think, one of the greatest paradoxes, I think, of being a human.
Yeah,
is that we have to overcome confusing emotions, painful emotions, challenging emotions. And in that journey, we not only get the reward, but we also get to learn that, oh man, it's so much more rewarding to have trusted myself and gone through it, and then be on the other side and feel this was worth it.
Yeah.
Right. And
it brings a deep autonomy as well, right?
Yeah.
And there are like these motivation models showing like autonomy is a such important tool to be able to like have empowerment over your own life, like feeling that I actually did it, right? You sat on that boat, in this case, like extreme seeking discomfort, maybe on like a boat ride, 15 hours there and 18 hours back home, 9 of those in like complete darkness. And
But when was the first time that you really sought discomfort? Because I think now, like, I really don't recommend people doing what we just did in this story.
For sure.
I actually recommend you not to do it. And I don't think that is necessarily the most relatable form of seeking discomfort. But we did it because we were searching for this unique story.
Yeah.
But when was, like, for you the first real time? Of course, it's happened so many times when you were younger, but when is a moment where you really felt it was deliberate, where you knew you were going against, maybe that initial butterflies in your chest and being like, I'm going to try something different?
What comes to mind now, and this is one of the many things I love with this podcast, you never know what's going to come, right? I don't know, you don't know, like we start to talk and then things come, but like a memory that pops up now is like going to a birthday party as a kid. If we go like very young age, very scary to go to a birthday party, and then, we all have different upbringings and different houses we are brought up in, and some are more encouraged and some are less maybe. But I had the fortune to be like, go on this party, having like a mom in this case saying, like, go for it. And when you go to that party and you're scared, but you fill your pockets with candy, as I did, old memory coming up, and you come home and you collected some friends, you collected some candy, and I collected a memory, like something happens to you, right? But then I also have countless of memories where I didn't dare to do it, right? And those becomes like blockages, almost like that I can't do it, because it is proven as well that learned helplessness. Martin Seligman is a person who is working within the field of positive psychology, and he is saying that one traumatic experience or many failures over time can stop you from believing that you actually can do it. Like it becomes the opposite of like believing that you can, because you have an experience of, a traumatic event of like a big failure or embarrassment or something, and then you tell yourself, I'm not going to do this. Or like an example I like is like, which is very unfortunate, but elephants that get like tied with a rope around their legs, and they try to like escape from like a zoo or whatever, and they can't escape because like this chain around their legs is stopping them. But if they try enough times, they're going to give up trying to escape, and then you can only have like a normal small rope, and that elephant will tell himself or herself that I can't move. That's like learned helplessness. And on the other side of that is that you actually achieved something, right? And you tell yourself, I can do this. And I think it starts when we're young, right? I think it starts with like parenting, school experiences, etc. And I had both of them, like the experiences where I told myself I'm never doing this again. I had to unlearn these things, and also the experiences of like meeting friends or meeting people, and like, this is fun. So those are the more early experiences. Then I can go into like high school, which is maybe more relatable and these things. But do you have any memory that comes up, or do you have any thoughts that when you hear about learned helplessness, like what you think of, like doing something that you believe you can or can't do?
No, for sure. I mean, I actually was struggled quite a bit in school, so I think I learned for a while to not believe in myself and like getting good grades, and like I think I had a lot of self-limiting beliefs with that, and I think the bad grades kept reinforcing that, like, oh, I'm just not good at school.
Yeah.
And the way that I actually changed it was I decided, okay, I'm just going to change the way that I am in school. Like, I'm going to act like I'm the number one in the class. And not in an arrogant way, actually in the opposite, where I was like, okay, the girl who has got all the best grades, she's sitting in the front row.
Yeah.
so I'm going to sit in the front row.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, you know.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, I don't even know how does she memorize all this stuff? And then I asked her kindly, I was like, do you mind if I see like how you take notes when you study for exams? And she was super nice. She was actually kind of honored. She was like, oh yeah, like, you know, I came up to her and I said, listen, you're the best student in every class. Like,
Yeah.
I'd been in class with her many years, and I was like, I've never figured out how to get anything more than like a C, you know? So it's like, do you mind if I see how you do it? Because I want to learn from you. And she was like, you know, she was like kind of, you know, she blushed a little bit. She was like, oh, of course. Yeah, sure.
Wow.
So she showed me. So then I looked at how she took notes, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so well organized. Like visually, I just look at it and it makes sense.
What is your age at this point, would you say?
Like 15, 16.
15, 16.
So a bit late to the game, you know, but I was just doing it my way, and it wasn't really
working
super well. My mom helped me a lot, also helping me like break down information to figure out how to, but then I looked at how she did notes. But the main thing that I did was I actually asked her for her essays, like her finals, because she would have a straight A in everything. And what I realized is
you found a dream person to speak.
Yeah, she was amazing. Her name is Daniela.
I was just gonna say, do you have her name? Shout out to Daniela.
Yeah, shout out to Daniela. She was great. Portuguese, very kind girl. But anyways, actually what I realized, this is a bit of a tangent, but it is like definitely learned, like I had to unwire that learn helplessness. And what I realized is like, I actually don't even know what an essay that gets an A looks like. I've only been corrected my mistakes, but I've never gone to see like, what's the perfect example? So I asked her for hers after it was corrected, and I photocopied it. And then I went home and I was just writing hers, just to feel what it would be like to write an A for the first time in my life, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, whoa, okay, like I realized, okay, it's definitely much better than mine, but it didn't feel like completely unreachable. But then I realized she's using fancy words that make her paper look nicer. And her handwriting is much better than mine. Like my teachers sometimes would just like tell me like, yeah, it was just such a pain to read. Like, yeah, so they just wouldn't even sometimes I think read some of it because they were like, this sucks. So I figured, okay, I got to improve my handwriting a little bit. And then all these words that she's using, I put them on a separate piece of paper. And I was like, I know these words, I'm just not using them in my written language. So then I started to, every single night, I wrote those words on a piece of paper until they just became like forced into my brain.
So you could say that Daniela has affected how you write voiceovers today on Yes Theory.
Maybe not voiceovers, but at least my essays for sure. And then
it sounds like she affected you. I think we should give her credit for that as well.
Yeah,
Daniela, sure. I want to thank you.
She was great. And then I ended up graduating with basically straight A's in every class.
That is cool. I think I was missing that Daniela, you know, or missing that teacher, or missing that other person, because I didn't end up on that sense when it comes to the grades, but it can be, you know, you can apply this to many areas of your life, like for people who are listening right now, either studies or believing in dreams or seeking discomfort or like
but I think
going for
asking
something
for
else.
help, I think you have to be proactive, because
yeah,
maybe there was a girl in your class, but I don't think like she didn't save me, right? Like I think what I learned in that moment is like,
sure.
Oh, you can ask for help. People actually want to do it. And if you ask well, right, in a nice way that doesn't feel like you're copying her, like people want to help.
For sure,
I think people want to feel useful, especially maybe not everyone, but I think there's way more people that are willing to help than you think. And if you ask with humility and kindness and make them feel good about it when you're asking them, you know, and you make it as easy as possible for them, so it's not a big lift. You know, I'm not asking her to tutor me. I'm just asking her, can I have a look at like, what are you doing? You know? And I think that's the key is that I learned is like you can unlearn the story that you have about like, fuck, I'm such a bad student.
Yeah.
And it's okay to ask for help. As in fact, you should.
Yeah,
you know, at any point, like look at who's doing better than you and then be like, you're doing better than me.
Yeah.
Can you help me? You know, I think most people, if you put it that way, they're like, oh, I'll help you, you know, like.
Yeah, no, but people want to help, like.
For sure.
I've done this experience when I've done public speaking, you know, I ask people,
exactly.
How many
you
in
called
here?
This woman, right? Can you tell the story of.
Which one of them?
Your mentor. Staffan has a secret mentor who's this woman.
Lou.
Yeah.
I think I did mention her at some point in this podcast as well, when it comes to like calling her and saying hi. Or I told you, it's hard to know sometimes what did we say in a podcast or what did we say during one of our.
But I think it's worth at least mentioning here, because you did reach out.
Yeah. My whole life from like 19 till now, I've been living by that principle. But you found it maybe at 15, 16 of like finding the principle of like asking someone for help, as you did with this classmate Daniela. But yeah, for sure, when I was can't exactly remember the age now, but at around that time, I listened to a woman, her name is Lou, and she was speaking about like the connection between the brain and the heart, and live with an open heart, and your magic will show miracles if you like live in your heart. And I was like, wow, this woman is like.
Had you ever had anyone say anything like that?
No, ever. That's the good point, right? No one. Wow, I got chills now when you said that. Wow, I got chills now. No one had ever shown me that word. Wow, I'm tearing up a little bit now. I got like, no one had ever shown me that word before, and she showed me to it in a speech, because I was like attending a speech, one of my first ever speeches I attended, and I was listening to her, and then I found her on the internet.
So you were like in the audience
in a book, her number anyhow. So found her number thanks to my mom, and then called her and anyhow met up with her, and it was changed my life forever. We still text, we still talk.
I think there's something underrated about
asking for help.
And it doesn't need to be a mentor that is there, for your life. I mean, you ended up finding a mentor. Sometimes it's just someone, helping you in a small way, but for you, it can change your life, right?
Sometimes I think we meet people for a reason, for a season, or for a lifetime. This woman for a lifetime for sure, but sometimes it's just for a specific reason, a reason we don't even know sometimes, right? Yeah. Sometimes it's for a season, a part of our time in our world. But like it was definitely meant to be. But I was gonna say, with my speaking, I asked people in the audience, and I've done this very many times, very many times. I've asked, how many in here likes to help other people, It's a bit of a trick question, but like everyone always like reach up their hand. They like to help people. It's not only to show people in the room, but I think generally people want to help. And then I ask people, how many in here are good at asking for help? And then almost all the hands go down from being up,
Yeah.
And all go down, and then maybe like 3-4 hands are still up. And then I tell them, like, look around. I don't know what challenges, your fears, problems you have in your life, but whatever they are, there are people around wishing to help, including yourself, but we don't have the ability to ask for help. And
it's interesting. I just saw just a clip from another podcast where this woman is speaking about how school is actually teaching you the opposite of how the real world works, right?
Yeah.
Where like the real world, the way that you become successful in the real world is through collaboration. Mm-hmm. But in school, the tests are do it alone. You sit alone and you're quiet, right? And there's only one right answer, and you're not allowed to ask for help. Like that's the opposite of how actually problems are solved, right?
I don't want to bring up a big conspiracy here, but like we are kind of taught in school, like used to follow by order, become a good employee somewhere. It's nothing wrong to be an employee somewhere, but like we are trained in school to be like a good employee. That was the whole slogan at my school. The whole slogan was like, you're going to become a good employee. Bro, that was not my path to walk,
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to unlearn some things, and I think, I don't know if it's pride from asking for help, but I also think, not to bring it back to discomfort, but I do think that it takes discomfort, right? I think it takes a moment of, I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to be embarrassed to admit that I don't know, right? Like there's uncomfortable feelings there that you have to overcome to, again, end up on the other side with such a better outcome that you have currently.
Sure.
And that takes humility, and I think it takes courage.
Yeah.
And
it takes discomfort, right? To ask for help, You're saying it is discomfort.
You can't get it without discomfort.
Yeah. Were you going to say something more there, or can I add one thing?
No, go for it.
I got a message yesterday from a friend I haven't spoken to for quite a good time. And this person was like, hi, Staffan. Would love to have a chat with you and ask you for some advice. I'm sitting here and reflecting. And I was like, shit, I don't know what this is. Is this big, bad, good? I don't know. I was like, I'm around, happy to chat, and hope everything is well. And then we jumped on the phone. I was like curious to know what this was with this good old friend. And she said like, but I just wonder, like, how did you do it? Like how did you get where you are? Like, I see you're out there, I see you're doing it, you're living it, and just want to ask you for advice. Like, how are you doing it? And I was like, oh wow, yeah, thanks for asking. Happy to answer you. But the answer
You
is
tell her we're still winging it.
no. I told her listen to the podcast. Like that's where you find. No, I was kidding.
Just plugging your podcast.
Yeah, no.
Just buy our merch. Actually,
Exactly.
it's not gonna help you, but
Secretscope.com. Shout out. No, but I did think about the podcast actually, but I didn't say that. I think I would sound like an ass if I would say that. I was just, but I did answer her like, no, but that's what I love the podcast away, by the way, that we can talk about these things and people listening, some things you resonate with, some things maybe you think we're absolutely crazy and you're allowed to have your own perception and process this, but we do want you in the comment sections, as we said before. Every single comment, like in this micro community with a podcast, we read at least at the YouTube comment section, but also on like Spotify and other places. So please engage. It reaches farther than you know. And yeah, so and she did specifically talk about how do you go out there, and I told her two things. One thing I said that maybe many of you heard before, but I said you overestimate what you can do in a day or a week, and you underestimate what you can do in a year. We think we can change everything in one day, right? Or in 1 week. And of course, miracles can happen. We know that. We can meet a stranger in the street that can change our life. It happened for you and me. It happened for us meeting other people. It can happen in a comment section. It can happen anywhere. But if we're out there and doing it step by step, like increasing our chances for like miracles to happen, it will happen. Mm-hmm. And we need to do it by seeking discomfort, right? Doing something uncomfortable. The second thing I told her is that, have you ever heard about the blue and red ocean strategy?
I think I've heard of it, yeah.
The idea is that the majority of people are swimming in the red ocean. The red ocean is that everyone is like acting, saying, behaving the same, applying for the same kind of jobs after starting the same kind of thing. Like for example, applying for a bank in Sweden is like probably extremely tough to get because a lot of people have done economic studies and then applying for a bank. I'm not saying it's anything wrong to work at a bank. I'm just saying that many people are going in the same direction and swimming in the same sea there. And I told this example to my friend who was like having a very hard time to get a job at a bank. I'm sitting here spitting out work advice for him, but I truly believe in it. And the other ocean is the blue ocean. The blue ocean is the ocean that very few people are swimming in. Maybe you call yourself something differently, have a different title. Maybe you do a different experience that few people have done. Maybe you go abroad and collect something that no one else has. Because then when you apply for this work or go for this dream or goal, you have other knowledges and skills with you that other people don't have. But you have to like dare to swim in the other ocean. And when you've done that, on paper, it looks like you're crazy. It looks like you're like so different and so unique and it's so like weird to do this. But honestly, it's easier. And I'm saying that with all humbleness, and I'm saying it out of my own worldview, because I did swim in the blue ocean my whole life. And of course, it was hard many times, but I also felt it was easier because I stood out many times. When I went to a mingle with 300 people and were networking or whatever, I was very different from other people. Mm-hmm. It was Mr. X being out there. People who listened to the last podcast episode know who Mr. X is from now on. But yeah, to be out there in the other ocean, I think
I agree with you, and there's another part of me that have been reflecting on this idea of it's called like survivor bias for people that have like taken big risks and then succeeded.
Yeah.
You have like an overestimation of actually, you know, the sort of the chance that you actually had of succeeding, if you see what I mean. Like,
yeah, continue.
Like a lot of the time it's like successful actors and musicians that are criticized with that, because so many people do try to be actors and musicians, and it is like actually it's both a competitive thing but also a high risk thing. So it's actually quite tricky. But I heard actually another actor speak about this who was like, don't listen to me. Like I freaking had a small chance of making it through, and I did, you know. And he was mentioning like, you know, Taylor Swift giving advice. Not that there's anything wrong with Taylor Swift, but she has such a unique, like the amount of people that try to do what she's doing, there's so many, and the percentage that actually succeed is so small, you know. So there's also something there to consider, right? Well, not to scare people not to chase their dreams, because I feel that I very much identify with like the go for it, you know, take the swing. Like I also did not want to compete with everyone else. And maybe both of you and I just felt like competing with others was never where we would succeed. Because like I remember after school, I started applying for jobs for Google and all these things, and I was like, I'm never gonna get this job. My grades are not that good. Like I'm not like if you look at my resume and I compare it to some of my friends, I'm like I don't look. What have I done? You know, like I have some friends who had impressive summer jobs and like all these things. Like I tried to start a startup that failed, and I had like a lot of very interesting experience, but to get nothing relevant for like Google, right?
Yeah.
And I realized like I'm never gonna get this job. This is the most,
And especially not going to get it if you don't have other things that is unique on your CV to get someone's attention.
right?
So I stand my ground with the blue and red ocean strategy.
No, I
also
agree.
But also see where you're going. And you didn't say that you disagree fully on it, but I see your point as well when it comes to, it's good to like, you need to be ready to fail as well. Even if you go into the blue ocean strategy, you need to be ready to like things.
Were you ready to fail?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But my mentality was like, I know this sounds extreme, but it was like, I learned to swim or I drown. But that was how I felt.
Yeah,
when I
I
was
felt
like
the same.
trying
I
to
was
do
like,
it. I was like,
there's no.
I had to like figure it out.
Yeah.
And we have in previous episodes spoken about those times, and we can come back to that as well. But like it was when you go for it, like you have a chance when you take a bet on something. It's scary, it's uncomfortable, it's daunting, but at some point you have to make up your own mind, right? Of what are you putting a bet on, right? What are you putting a bet on? And
Well, I do agree with you that I don't think most people should do it though. And I think most people should really think through their own choices. But I do think
what do you mean by that?
No, but I mean, like, I think taking a risk at going for something very risky, let's say.
Very risky, yeah.
However, I will say that I don't think that there's any way of succeeding at something extraordinary and having a very unusual thing that you get to do in life without taking a very large amount of risk.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way around it. Or make a lot of sacrifices. There's no way around it. And I think so much of what we do outside of just the adventures themselves and the videos of just trying to keep this channel alive involves as much, if not more, discomfort. Figuring out like, how do you freaking do this? Like, there's so many uncharted, confusing parts of running a team, of doing all these things and
doing new things we've not done before to like renew ourselves.
Yeah, and taking risks and all that. And I think it is rewarding, but it's also incredibly scary all the time. And I think people maybe perceive us as like incredibly comfortable in it, which we have a higher threshold. But it's not that the fear isn't there. It's just that we've learned how to coexist with it. I think that's the difference. It's like fear now, I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, but I'm not like, I'm not afraid of fear, if that makes sense. I'm just like, okay, the fear is here. Okay, let's use it. Let's be hyper-focused,
Good that you said that. I fully agree with that. I can like have a sense of relief when you say that. So please
it's
continue.
Like, how do you dance? Like, you got to learn how to dance in the storm, right?
Yeah.
How do you keep smiling even when it's just like, oh, man, I'm terrified. But also, like, I want to, the goal is to mitigate the risk, right? The fear is to help you tell you, okay, got to be careful here. Let's, think through this properly. Let's make the right decisions. Let's not rush and make it worse.
Yeah.
Fear is there to like knock on the door and be like, either calm down, slow down, be mindful, be thoughtful.
Cool.
But it's not meant to run away from.
Well said, sir. Can I add 2 thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Like, first thought is, fully agree when it comes to risk. Like, I'm not a big believer in taking big, massive risk, I'm a big believer in taking small risks and continue growing within, including in the blue ocean. I think the blue ocean for me is not like taking big risk. It's more like taking some risk that differentiates you from other people, that makes you stand out in that sense. Sure. And so I think like taking risk in a good amount. Like in the beginning, I was like living at home. I was living with my parents until I was 23 years old. For me, I think that's like old, because I see some friends, that I left home when they were 19 and 20. I know some people in other countries, they stay home even longer, like if you look at statistics. But for me, I was like, shit, I'm at home till 23. Some people have been abroad for 2-3 years. Some people have finished the university studies. I was still living at home. But I was taking a big bet on myself of believing in, sending inspiration, running an NGO in my hometown that was like working with network meetings for high school students, etc., to like empower each other, etc. These things, So I was taking a bet, but of course I thought it was like insane sometimes. Of course it was a big risk in the sense of like, am I making a fool out of myself? Am I like doing the wrong road here that will lead me to, you know, losing a couple of years of my life, and then I have to, you know, do X, Y, Z. But I took a risk, right? But I didn't take a risk that would you know, we have been speaking about that. We see sometimes people on the internet of maybe doing like extreme challenges. And personally, you and me, I know we speak for both of us. We encourage people to not do that. It's better to, take
incremental.
Yeah, incremental. Yeah, take it step by step.
Do you think that discomfort is a prerequisite to growth?
What does that mean?
Like, do you think like it's like you can't have growth without discomfort?
No, I don't think you have to have discomfort, but I think discomfort definitely gonna come. So it is yes. My answer is yes on your question, but it's also no in the sense of it doesn't always have to be painful. Sometimes it can be a cup of tea with an 8-year-old woman and just downloading all her insights about life and stuff, and it can be very comfortable. Sometimes those conversations can be uncomfortable as well, because you get to hear stuff that is, of course, unpleasant about, you know, your perception of reality. I'm speaking about own experiences, about my friend who was 70 when I got to know her, but she's 80 now, and yeah, she told me, like, you know, about how it's been living with 3 alcoholic men, married to 3 alcoholic men. She's been telling me about, you know, all kind of stuff in her life that is like, yeah, that it felt like, you know, my view of seeing it, it's like, you know, I see it as I download her insights without having to experience them myself, and coming as close to the experiences as possible without having to do it. I don't think it can replace have done it myself, but I think it's the closest you can get. I think that is with our videos as well. If someone watches our YouTube videos, it's not maybe as doing it yourself, but I think people can, we never really spoke about this, I think, but I personally believe that they can like download the insights as much as we done it. Other people can download it into their spirits, bodies, and embody it and like live it, even if they're not done it themselves. So I think you can grow tremendously by hearing something or listening to a podcast or these things. Maybe
But do you think that then because it's one thing to learn or hear something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to actually learn it, most of the time it takes some level of, right, to apply it. Because I've heard advice so many times, or, you know, read a book or whatever, and that's comfortable. But then when I'm faced with it for real, right, how do I actually apply this in a real life situation? Usually it requires some internal challenge, discomfort, you know. But
yeah, what's your thoughts there on it?
Well, I think most time real growth and change comes hand in hand with discomfort. Maybe you're right, maybe not every single time.
What kind of discomfort then also?
Well, I think the most valuable change, I think, is a lot of the smaller, less, you know, impressive, less explosive discomfort that is like learning how to communicate honestly.
Mm-hmm.
If you've your whole life have been a people pleaser, how do you learn how to actually speak honestly? That's super hard, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a huge discomfort.
Yeah, one of my biggest discomforts I ever have to face.
Yeah.
Still facing, but gosh, for sure.
How do you show up truly, openly, and vulnerably in a relationship when you've been hurt before? That's so difficult, right? Like, these are all discomforts that I think require growth, right? They require introspection. They require putting yourself in the situation and maybe messing it up and having to correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's also discomfort in showing up for yourself on a physical level, right? If you've been physically unhealthy, okay, how do you start eating healthy? How do you start going on walks? You know, how do you sign up for a gym and walking into that room? I remember walking into the gym for the first time being like, what do any of these machines do?
Yeah.
Like, you feel so stupid, right?
Yeah.
You see all these people that are 10 times better shape than you. And some people go in and then never come back because it's like, I can't handle this.
It's too painful. It's too much discomfort in it, right?
So that's what I mean is, like, I think most of the steps that require real growth, because you can read a book about how to be emotionally, you know, available in a relationship, but then when it's there, when it's for real and it's staring at you in the face, you know, then it's like, oh God.
I think it goes hand in hand. I know for sure. I think it goes hand in hand, right? Because even reading the book is uncomfortable for many people, right? I noticed that many times when I like suggest a book to someone or myself. I can speak about myself, like, I'm going to read that book. And it's like, I don't dare to know if I want to open those pages yet, or watch a documentary that I know will like, maybe help me within a specific area. But it's like, even if I'm passively watching it, or we can see that as well, right? In our videos, we can see that as well, that sometimes people drop off more in the statistics. We can see within the YouTube studio that people drop off when it becomes sometimes more emotional or more, we even know, like, no names mentioned. We know some other YouTubers like explicitly cut out emotional moments in their YouTube videos because they know people drop off from that YouTube video.
Yeah.
We have that information as well, but no, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep the emotions in there. We're going to keep showing uncomfortable things in our videos because it expands our worldview, right? Our hearts, our souls. And that's what I believe as well. As I said before, when people tune into these things, we all grow together in these things. Yeah. And I also that I wanted to do a little shout at the end to everyone. I get China, but everyone listening, like, because there's so many beautiful souls out there. Like every single time we meet someone on the street or in the comment section or a DM, even if we can't ever reply, always reply. But it's like, it's very intelligent, both IQ, but also emotional intelligence and soul intelligence people out there. We said this many times, but we're going to say it many times again. It's a reason that people can, tune into our videos, right? Because we try to seek discomfort and we do it together with our community, right? Because we wouldn't be able to do this if other people wouldn't be able to travel with us, right? Yeah. So, but I agree. You have to actually go out there as well. But it's a two-step. First, you have to believe in it, right, or see it, hearing it from an old lady or a man or a video or a book, or you just have to like leave your apartment and then just see what the world has to offer.
Yeah, it's interesting because I remember being in my early 20s and getting deeply inspired by other people's work and by The Buried Life, by Jerome Jarre, by watching Casey Neistat do all his stuff, and I listened to a lot of podcasts when I was in my early 20s of entrepreneurs, artists, whatever. Like every night I listened to one interview, and I remember it made such a big difference. Sometimes you're like on your way there, and what I hope that our videos can serve as is a catalyst for these things, right?
Yeah.
I think yes, there is a bridge both in our stories, but also I think for people going after their own dreams. I mean, I've met so many people that have said, I moved to this completely new country after watching Yesterday and realizing, man, there's a world out there.
Yeah.
And I got a new job now. And
you gotta go out and live it.
Exactly.
It's a reference from Into the Wild.
I haven't seen that one actually. Yeah. But yeah, and so I think I feel like it's a privilege that we have to get to tell stories that can hopefully show people that ultimately we're out here just trying to do it also, right? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
Neither do I.
I'm doing my best, but I don't know what's going on. Like I feel like we're serving in the best way we can by being in the search and documenting our search.
Yeah.
And I think showing that, look, we're on our way too, but I don't freaking know, and just come along and we'll just figure it out together, is sort of how I see it. Like, I don't think I have any answers. And when I write the voiceovers, I try to reflect on what we learned and bring that to people. But ultimately, I'm the voiceover, I think, is like a way for me to learn and to process the information and the lesson and the actual experience. And
you were reflecting about, or you texted earlier that you had written the voiceover for the video that we posted, the last one of this journey on Pagan. Do you want to share any insight right now that, like, from that trip?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was interesting because the Chamorros are the indigenous people of these Northern Mariana Islands.
Shout out to the Chamorros, real people.
That settled 4,000 years ago, and they've always lived in complete harmony with the natural elements, and they believe that nature has a spirit, and their ancestors are alive, and they live through their natural habitat all around them.
Yeah.
And I think in that way, those who have still embraced that lifestyle are still very rooted and connected to the world around them in a way that I think we're losing. I definitely feel that when I come back to nature, I feel very calm, but I don't do it enough intentionally. We end up being in very remote places, but I I think there's real value in being intentionally outside, you know, and it sounds so, you know, go outside, you know, it's like the most basic advice, you know, that your parents would tell you when you're playing too many video games and you're like, but man,
one more round.
Freaking works, man.
Yeah.
Mom was right.
Exactly.
Get off the video games.
Moms are always right.
Yeah. But
Shout out to moms.
It does make a huge difference to go on a walk, to go on a hike, be out in the forest or, you know, safely, but being outside makes a big difference. And I think one of the things that I remember Jordan told us, we asked him, you know, what do you think the world needs? And he said, just be less on your phone. He was like, get off the phone, get off the internet. He even said, like, just stop listening to music, which is hard for me because I was like, I didn't want to hear that because I like music.
Yeah.
But I do see the point of just not having stimulus, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because music in its own way, and I'm obsessed with music. I listen to music all day. But music is also a form of dopamine and a form of distraction in its own way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I think intentionally just being you know, in the quiet, without your phone, without internet, or at least not checking your phone, right?
Yeah.
Makes a big difference. And I think for me, one of the things that I remember or felt the most from this trip is, wow, it's going to become more and more rare to have humans like Jordan who are genuinely just living fully, basically off the grid.
Yeah, he can speak to animals, and we full on believe him. Like, he speaks to animals.
The other people told us, they were like, he wasn't the one that told us. The other people told us he talks to animals and they listen. They understand him when he's speaking.
Yeah, he said it as well, but like the other ones said it as well. Yeah. It's like, but I believed in that before as well. Like, growing up with a lot of animals around me, like I truly believe we can speak to animals. We're all entities connected to one another, but we have forgot that along the road, right? And I think we're just gonna keep on forgetting that the more busy we get. I feel like happier, stronger, more grounded in a good time, which is nice. And I think it is because of, you know, walks now. Like, even if we live in a big city in Paris, which we're in right now, but I'm having many night walks, you know, by the Seine River, and actually no music. I'm more the guy, actually no music guy. I need my silence. I listen to music quite a lot. I love music as well, but I read somewhere on the internet sometimes, like, does it exist people who like walk around without music? And I was like,
the hardest for me would be gym without music. I can't.
Yeah,
can't do that.
Maybe you should try. But anyhow, yeah, but like, to come back and tune back into my thoughts, I was doing a yoga session as well in Paris as well. Thank God I found an English-speaking session here. I'm struggling a bit in Paris when it comes to finding English communities. So if you're listening and know anything about Paris, please let me know. But I found a yoga class yesterday, which was great. And so nice to just connect inwards as well. 1 hour of... Do you know what I thought about, by the way? I haven't told you this. This 1 hour yoga session, you know, yoga is tough. Like, people haven't tried yoga. Yoga is sweaty. It was like hot yoga, 60 minutes. Like the yoga teacher said before, you know, like I said, like, yeah, I haven't done this class before. She was like, no worries, but get ready, you might cry at this session. I was like, wow,
yoga is super hard.
We're in for something here. But it was a great session. But I thought about, you know, our long damn boat ride we had, 18 hours back. You know, it was tough. You know, it was mentally tough. You know, we never complained on the boat. We were sitting in silence. It's like, you know, hour by hour, you know. But during the yoga session, I was thinking about the 18-hour-long boat ride, because we did that endurance, that resilience, that like perseverance of like overcoming that. It helped me in the yoga session. Like, the yoga class was not that hard, because I was like, this is nothing compared to what we just did.
Yeah,
it was a funny experience.
I guess people didn't fully see. I mean, we showed a little bit at the end, but the handful of clips of us in the freaking storm, that was like 18 hours.
Yeah. Like, we managed to capture like 5% of what we experienced on the boat ride back. But anyhow, it was hell, and it was roady, and it was bumpy, and it was raining, and we were outside, and it was tight on that boat, and there was not space, and you had to like sit still on a small space in like 18 hours. I don't know if anyone done a 3-hour flight ride, or, you know, 5-hour bus ride or whatever. This was like, you're stuck in a little space on a boat, and you're out in the Pacific, and you're having like thoughts that you might end up in
you're
this
wet,
water.
and you're rocking, and you're seasick.
Yeah, like, yeah, awesome. YOLO. But yeah,
I think that's a part of it. I think for us, looking for unique stories, I think sometimes, not always, but sometimes it requires you to go far.
Exactly.
And in this instance, it did. And it wasn't the original plan. We were just supposed to stick to the main Northern Mariana Islands, and then we had this opportunity that came up and decided to go after it, right?
So very glad we went, man. It was one to remember, bro. It was one to...
This is the first time we've done like a series like this properly.
Yeah.
Like three, I want to say very different stories, right? One is completely about the history and the culture of a place that not many people know about.
Yeah.
The second one is a full survival emergency, and the third is about this very unique man living on a volcano.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, at this point, we don't know really what people have thought about the whole series as it's come out, but we're hoping that it has resonated, and we're hoping that, yeah, you get to learn something from it. Maybe learn not to go on a really long boat ride out in the Pacific. There's maybe a reason why nobody does it. But mainly I hope that, I think from the first and the second story, or the first and the third, to just have learned about this very unique set of islands brings more attention to it. And they're struggling a lot with tourism, actually, the Northern Mariana Islands. And so they were so excited that we were there. But I'm hoping that more people will go visit. It's not a place that you go to. It doesn't have a lot of infrastructure. It's very raw. Like, it's not really, you get there and you're like, okay, well, there's not a whole lot going on here.
Yeah.
The main town is completely abandoned. We didn't show it, but it's like basically abandoned, a ghost town. There's abandoned casinos and hotels a little bit everywhere. You could tell that they're like, something happened here and people are not coming anymore.
Yeah, they got a good hit from COVID, unfortunately. So
I think if people are looking for, I want to go somewhere far that is going to be kind of epic, and but still be, you're still in the US, so there's, of course, things going on there. But I think the Northern Mariana Islands is a very unique place. And when you go to a place like that and you see how they're struggling with tourism, and then you go to a place like Venice, Italy, and you see how much, or Barcelona, and they're like protesting because they're like, there's too many tourists, don't come.
Different kind of vibe.
You just think, man, like people just need to go to places that, are not as visited, right? There's so many amazing countries to explore, to visit. And I understand Venice is amazing, it's beautiful, I've been there, but it's unfortunate that I think people focus so much on a handful of places, including
what I'm trying
Paris.
to say is go into the blue ocean. Travel as a blue traveler instead of the red traveler.
Exactly.
Talking about seeking discomfort, what do we wish to seek now? What is the next doors that we wish to enter? What are the next oceans we wish to swim in? Question to both of us here. Can be a...
I have one that I'm exploring, but I'm doing a lot of discomfort with coming to peace with the grief, with losing my mom and all of that. That's taking like active work all the time. But something that I haven't necessarily spoken about is like I'm exploring the idea of going after my athletic peak. What would it look like? I think I had this thought a couple of years ago, actually, of what if I grow old and I never got to reach the peak shape that I know I'm capable of in this lifetime. And I just pass away and I just never try to see how far I can go. And of course, not with trying to be completely in excess and injuring myself or taking freaking performance enhancing stuff, but just on a natural, healthy, consistent basis, in how good of a shape can I get, and with that shape, what could I achieve on an athletic level? And I'm exploring that. I don't know if I'm ready to explain exactly what that athletic challenge is going to be.
Do you want to try, like, if you could picture it? Is it a place? Is it a feeling? Is it a combination of it? If it's something you're...
No, I know exactly what it is.
Because I know you're okay, then I know as well. Or I think I know.
Yeah.
Do I know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but
I don't know if I'm ready to announce it.
No, for sure.
But I have a physical challenge that
you have my full support on that one. It's a wild one. It's
been my dream for 25 years, maybe.
Yeah.
I've worked 11 years on it, and I gave up 14 years ago. And it's like one of the things I've invested most amount of time in and never finished.
Yeah, man.
And Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm wondering, the older I get, every year that passes, I feel that my chance of achieving that dream goes down.
Yeah.
And so I'm currently trying to get in very good physical shape to build up the confidence to go and do this thing. But yeah, I'm still trailing some injuries, and I think probably a lot of people struggle with injuries quietly. It's like one of those, everyone has like a few things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things that is never big enough to speak about when it's just like, oh, it's just,
It's a bad knee.
yeah, it's a thing. But it's chronic and it's not going away. And you've seen tons of doctors.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of in that position where I'm like, I'm afraid that if I throw myself into it, the injury that I have is just going to get way worse. So I'm trying to...
Quick comment on the injury you have, so everyone knows if you want to talk about it.
I have a herniated disc in my lower back, which is very painful.
Yeah.
Which means I can't, like when I stand up, it like for too long, it hurts. So I'm going to go do a high impact thing. It's not going to be a light thing on my body. So, and one of the discomforts that I'm seeking now is just trying to get physically healthy. And that is changing a lot of things about my internal story.
Yeah. And this pain, if I may bring it up, it affects you quite a bit, like how you...
Every day. Yeah. Every trip, every plane ride.
Yeah.
Every car ride, every time I'm sitting down for that's why I'm like sitting super weird here. Not because because I'm like trying to not put pressure on.
It's not weird, bro, but I know I'm aware of it, but other people are not aware of it. But thank you for opening up about it, like, because these things can be very personal and sensitive. So thank you for It's
a step by step, lev. As they say in Sao Tome and Principe.
Yeah.
Step by step.
Level, yeah. Tommy, our beloved friend, my roomie and master editor, he always runs around and said, level up.
What about you? What is your discomfort that you are currently seeking?
I think it's a continuous journey, but I wish to continue befriending my nervous system. Continuing befriending my nervous system and it parts, which is, have a little scratch here and there from XYZ reasons for it to become even calmer. And I've done a great job. I'm super proud of myself and my little spirit and body that is carrying around and walking around on this earth. But as you know, sometimes it's painful, and as you people listening as well, you heard it as well, and nobody maybe know the full scale of it as much as I don't know the full scale of other people's stories. But sometimes it's unbearable pain, and I also can feel that it loosens the older I get, which is nice. And it not has to do with age. It has to do with the action and the discomfort I'm seeking. I'm calling it sacred discomfort. Sacred discomfort of like going within and like facing the shadows that I need to put light on to be able to be set free. And it has been a lot of tears, you know that as well. But I don't fear those. So I'm proud of myself of like, walking towards it, towards the demons, the shadows. Not every day, not every week, not every month, but I am walking and I'm, going towards it to be able to, walk with as little pain as possible and to be as comfortable as possible in my body. Yeah, that's I
mean, like most people never do, right? And I think you've taught me definitely to be more comfortable with the tears. Definitely learned the last couple of years, like you can't hold back the tears. I think with seeing my mom being sick, it's you hold back the tears, it just gets worse, right?
Fucking kills you. Like,
I think it's kind of funny, right? This is like, I think tears is actually a very good embodiment of discomfort because we're so afraid of it, but we always feel better afterwards.
Always feel better, of course.
Right? Like sometimes you just gotta like
good cry,
get it out, and it's afterwards it's like it's a relief.
Yeah. It is, right? And that's what I'm walking towards, not in a stressful way, not in, that I have to arrive there tomorrow, not that I even think it's a special place to arrive to, but just continue the journey of living a little bit more softer with like an open hand instead of a closed fist.
Yeah.
Live your life with an open hand instead of a closed fist. Yeah. That's my metaphor of seeing it as, walk gently. And I believe I walk gently. I believe I live softly. I believe I love softly. I live a lot of that, but I also see the part when like, it's an echo from the past coming and saying hi now, and I'm going to bed. And those echoes can be loud sometimes. But if you're listening, you don't have to like I don't know why I'm taking responsibility for you now, but you don't have to worry. It's more like, I'm just trying to take responsibility for myself.
Yeah.
And also, like, I don't want to like send any relative under the bus, but I have some ancestors, shout out to some of them, because I don't blame any one of them, but some grandpa here and, some great grandpa there, who, lost the battle, to some of the more heavier stuff, but we are getting closer to the end of this podcast, and I don't want to open a too big lid of a jar now, a can of worms, but for sure I've been digging deep in these topics for hours, hundreds of hours, maybe thousands, probably thousands of hours, and I feel good many times, and sometimes I feel shit.
But I think this is a good time to maybe, I think, give our weekly prompt here to our audience, which is, what is a discomfort you feel you would like to seek more of? I think everyone has a discomfort that they know that they would benefit so much from seeking more of and embracing more of, but I think we resist it. And usually the thing we resist the most is the thing we actually need.
Yes.
And so what is that discomfort? I think saying it, you can decide to put it in the comments if you want, or you could just write it down in your own journal. And would love to hear about it. I think hearing each other's discomfort might inspire one another to realize, oh, there's another person that wants to do this, Okay, by encouraging and hearing other people being on their way, I think it can not only humanize it, but maybe make it less daunting.
Yeah. And if you're a person who is like afraid of like texting this, maybe today is the day you text it.
No.
Or maybe today is not the day you text it. Yeah. Either way, we love you, we support you, we got you back. A quote I love is, the magic is hiding in the fear you're avoiding.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
The magic is hiding in the fear you're avoiding.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Boom!
And on that note, actually, if you're still here and you gravitate with the message of seeking discomfort, we do have our holiday drop that is live on seekdiscomfort.com.
Yeah.
It is only live this week. I think today is maybe the last day, actually. For this holiday collection, there's going to be another one coming up. But yeah, if you are interested in getting some Seek Discomfort clothing, this podcast has no sponsors. And Seek is live right now. So please go check it out. Get yourself some gifts for Christmas. Maybe a friend, get them a gift. And we'll see you next week.
The sun just arrived. I think the sun is saying, please subscribe, please subscribe.
I think that's what it was saying, right?
Can you hear it? If you are silent enough, please subscribe. Okay, love you all, guys.
See you soon.